So I've been playing Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga ever since it released, I think 3 weeks ago now, and I've put a lot of hours into it. Coming off the back of Elden Ring, which I put, I think in the end, about 100 hours into, and I got the platinum just to have that little humble brag. It was nice to come into this game, which I knew was going to be relaxing and a bit more, you know, just smoother experience in terms of, I guess it would be easier is what I'm trying to say. And this is a game that, as much as I've been bullied for it, I was looking forward to it quite a lot. It wasn't on my radar until maybe a year and a half ago, and I don't know how I saw it. It might have been TikTok of all places. It was like, well, it's going to be open world, it's going to have all these planets, it's going to be all 9 films, remade, essentially. So when I first heard that, I was like, oh, they're just doing like a remake of the first 2 games, Lego Star Wars and the original trilogy, which I played back in the day. It was like 2005 or 6 the first one came out. So already I was excited about that because I'm always up for a remake, because many people probably know I'm always, an old game, I'll play it again, nice graphics, why not? And I think I pre-ordered it like a year ago, it might have been like last March, when it was meant to come out in May of 2021. I think when it was meant to come out originally. It's probably been delayed before that as well. And it kept getting delayed, and then it kind of went off the radar for a bit, and then they're like, okay, fine, it's coming out in April. And here we are, it's out, the Skywalker Saga is out, and it's released pretty positive reviews, generally, I'd say. And it's a Lego game, but it's a bit more than that this time round. Now, again, when I say it's a bit more than that, you know, this isn't a complete re-evaluation of the Lego game genre. If you've played a Lego game before, you kind of know what you're getting into, but it's certainly a step up for the genre, which is weird that Lego games have their own genre. Like, it's pretty impressive, and they've kind of been following that same genre since the first Lego Star Wars game. Again, there has been some changes. We've had open world Lego games, which this one kind of is, but not really, and I'll get into that. But essentially, you know, you've got the levels based on the property. You go through one time as the story mode with cutscenes, and then you're welcome to visit them again in free play, where you can get all the collectibles you've missed. I guess for me, I've not really visited Lego games. You know, I'm not a die-hard Lego fan by any means. I actually don't own any Lego, which is odd. This one has voice acting, which for me, I know they've had voice acting for a while now. I think this might be the first one I've played that's had voice acting. Maybe not, maybe the Marvel one did. But again, because this is a reimagining of the older games, it was cool to get all 9 films with Lego, laugh out loud Lego humor and voice acting, and that is a huge selling point as well. The fact this is all 9, main Star Wars films, you know, episode 1 to 9, recreated in Lego, 5 levels each, and some worlds in between them. So I think the hard thing to explain about this game is kind of the way it's laid out. So yes, you've got those 9 Star Wars films, which, as I say, is 5 levels per film, and you go through them. But in between the levels is really the bigger part of the game, and that's these open world environments. So there's over 20 planets, I believe. I wish I checked, which some have one, some have a couple open world environments, which are full of, you know, puzzles, which in a way it really reminds me of this game of Super Mario Odyssey, with how many, I think there's over 1,000 Kyber bricks, they're called, and they're just everywhere. Some of them are out in the open, some of them are behind puzzles, some of them are behind challenges, and it really reminds me of Mario Odyssey in that way, that they're just kind of, these collectibles are everywhere, and the kind of point of the game, other than playing through the levels, which is fun, you know, replaying through this, if you're a Star Wars fan, getting to see these gorgeous environments recreated in Lego with the laugh out loud Lego humor, but then also having a lot of stuff to jump into in terms of collecting and getting the platinum trophy and getting the percentage meter to go up. I've put 60 hours into this, which is insane for a Lego game in my opinion, and I'm at 70% overall completion. I've got 600 bricks, so another 500 to go, which is insane. It's taking a lot of time and effort. I've done all the levels 100%, so you basically, like I say, you go through them once, and then you can go through them again once you've unlocked like bounty hunters, because each character has their own certain abilities. So you might go for a level once and there's like a gold block, and you're like, oh, I can't destroy this yet. It has like a bounty hunter logo above it. Come back to it down the line and you can destroy it with a bounty hunter, that kind of thing. So you play for the game again, essentially. So you play for it once, and if you want to play for it again, get all the collectibles, get all the side objectives, which can be stuff like, do the secret path that you didn't do the first time, or blow up this many things. It's stuff like that. It's again pretty basic, but you're welcome to play through the game 1 to 9 and just like, well, that's me. It took about 20 hours, I think, my first playthrough, maybe less. You can just leave it at that. Or you can go insane and go for the 100%, which takes me a long, long time. The game as well was only £40, I think I paid for it, so what's not to love? It's a good bargain. Where the flaws in the game do arise are in a couple of things. First of all, it is very repetitive, and I think it comes with the territory, because these games are ultimately kids games, but they're for everyone. I'm not saying that just because it's a kids game it can't be good. It is clearly marketed. It's not even marketed, but it has to appeal to all ages. So the game is incredibly easy. There's no real challenge throughout any of it. If you die, there's no setback really. You just spawn immediately where you spawn. Which again, when I was saying, okay, I'm off the back of Elden Ring, it was quite nice. I'm just going to play this game, zone out, and just collect stuff and have a good time. And that's what it's great for. What I wasn't a huge fan of is the level layout, which I've talked about before. If we take the Phantom Menace, for example, there's 5 levels in that, and the third level is the fight with Darth Maul, which is really strange because in the first game, the last level is the fight with Darth Maul. So you can see what I mean. So I think it's like Darth Maul fight, the Battle of Naboo fight, and then Anakin flying through space fight. That's your last 3 missions of that. But the rest of that film is told through cutscenes built into these open world segments where you're running around Naboo, you're running around Tatooine, and you can, if you want to, start collecting stuff now, or like I'm doing, I can ignore everything, gonna come back at the end and do it later. But what that means is it's just I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a weird layout. Some of it feels really rushed. Like you're playing it and you're like, oh, I'm at Darth Maul now, and then it's over because you've done the last 3 missions like back to back. And this might be something oversight me when I was replaying the game, going for all the collectibles and the levels. I was like, how do I then experience those in between parts with the story? Because if you just go to free play and you do first mission, you're like, the first mission of Phantom Menace again is you've just left the Gungan City and that's it. So I'm like, okay, well, there's tons of cutscenes before that. There's a bit on the Federation ship, and I don't know how you can replay that other than starting a new game. So that seems like a strange oversight. Other than that, the main issue that I've had with Lego Star Wars is technically this game is pretty shocking. Not in terms of performance, it looks great. The graphics are honestly quite stunning at points. Places look fantastic. It's crisp. The frame rate is smooth. There's a couple of hiccups when there's a lot going on. But for me, it's been glitches and crashes. It's crashed quite a few times, and not even hard crash. It's just been a position where it's like, okay, I have to crash because nothing's working. I couldn't switch characters. I couldn't move. Trying to do challenges that are glitched. I've got a friend who's playing it who one of his levels just completely couldn't finish the level. It would crash every single time at the exact same point. And the game's been out for a few weeks now, and these issues haven't been fixed, which is quite worrying with how long this game was in development as well. You'd hope that these things would be ironed out, but I understand these things happen in game development, but it does make the experience quite grueling at points when you are going for these 100% collectibles, and you'll have this thing on the HUD and you're like, wait, I'm looking for a brick and it's not on the HUD, so you can wander around. I've had that happen a few times. There's a nightmare. Stuff like that makes going for the 100%, which I think these games are designed to be honest, I think these games are meant to be 100%. Can make that quite grueling. Overall though, I know these thoughts have been quite scattered, but it's quite it's weird because it's just a Lego game, but it's quite a difficult game to talk about because there's a lot going on here. There is space battles, there's space exploration, very, very limited space exploration. There's huge cities, huge areas, a lot of Star Wars, fan service, but like good fan service. It pokes fun at itself a lot of the times. I think it'll please fans of all trilogies of the films. It's a good time. I can't not recommend it, to be honest. For the price that it is, I've had very good time with it. I'm looking forward to finishing the platinum, and it'll be quite a satisfying conclusion. I'm probably going to hit the 100-hour mark on it, which is scary, but I'm not going to complain because it's good value. I think if you get these technical issues ironed out, it's even easier to recommend. And what's really exciting, I think, is where Lego takes this, the Lego games. Do we see them go remake all of their properties? So we had the Lego Lord of the Rings, and Lego Hobbit, Lego Jurassic Park, Lego Indiana Jones, Lego Harry Potter, I guess the question would be, I think this open world part could be ironed out a bit more. For example, we had Lego Lord of the Rings and it's literally the whole of Mordor scaled down a bit, and you can explore it and the missions are dotted out. I think that would be better than what's here. Although it's open world, it is still very clearly, here is the planet, I want to go to this planet. Okay, loading screen, you're at the planet, which I understand that's how like No Man's, that's how this game has to work, but it's just, it feels very disjointed rather than feeling like this giant open world that is set in the Star Wars universe. But I think that could be ironed out to something truly great. So I'm excited to see what Lego do with this now, and I know this game's been a huge success for them, which is awesome. And the main thing I will say for it is it kind of made me like Star Wars again, because I've grown to despise the series. The Rise of Skywalker is probably the main culprit of that. I'm just not into all the fan service we've had in the show recently. It's just not for me. I understand what people like it, but watching this, it made me go and watch the saga again, 1 through 6 at least. And I'm not even a huge fan of the prequels, and I do enjoy the originals, but it just made me want to go watch it. I was like, you know what, I've not watched Star Wars in a while. This has got me back into it a bit, and it's made me appreciate a bit more why I used to like when I was a child. So I think that's probably the best thing I can say for it. It gave me back my Star Wars enjoyment, which I thought was impossible. But what did you guys think of Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga? Have you picked it up? Will you pick it up? Or are you going to wait for a sale on this one? I think regardless what price you pay for it, if you wait now or you get it later, you're going to have a good time. It is repetitive. It's very long, but there's a lot to do. Especially if you've got kids you can play as co-op with, or if you've got a partner, if you've got anyone to play as co-op with. It doesn't have online co-op, which is a major oversight, but what can you do?